Welcome into KCTV5 Plus on this Wednesday. It is Wednesday,
Yes, it is
right?
Wednesday.
Thank you so much for joining us. We do want to bring you your local news headlines as well as national. We want to start off with this video right here on your screen, something that we have been following here in the KCTV5 newsroom. Hurricane Melissa made landfall in Cuba early this morning as an extremely dangerous Category 3 hurricane. This after the storm devastated Jamaica as one of the strongest Atlantic hurricanes in history. Reed Binion reports.
The entire Jamaica has felt the brunt of Melissa.
Hurricane Melissa is being called the storm of the century after slamming into Jamaica with devastating effect Tuesday as one of the strongest Atlantic hurricanes in history.
Jamaica has gone through what I can call one of its worst periods.
Melissa made landfall as a Category 5 storm with 185-mile-per-hour winds. The massive scale of the destruction quickly became clear, with extensive damage reported across southwestern Jamaica. Schools, homes, and hospitals all affected by the hurricane.
Some of those areas, like St. Elizabeth Parish, are the main food-producing regions of the country.
St. Elizabeth is the breadbasket of the country, and that has taken a beating.
Officials said hundreds of thousands of people on the island were left without power. After tearing across Jamaica, Hurricane Melissa barreled over the Caribbean toward Cuba.
Storm surge along the southeast Cuban coast 8 to 12 feet above normal tide levels. And again, dangerous major hurricane force winds expected across portions of southeastern Cuba.
More than 735,000 people have been evacuated in Cuba, where residents and officials spent days preparing for the hurricane's impact. I'm Reed Binion reporting.
And there are families from here in the Kansas City metro who are now in Jamaica. In fact, we got in touch with an Olathe couple who leads an outreach group called One by One Jamaica. And they say it could be months until residents can get a full picture of just how bad the damage really is. KCTV5's Nathan Brennan has that story.
Good morning, Kansas City. I'm Nathan Brennan. As you can see, it is a wet, damp, and cold morning here in Kansas City, but this is nothing compared to some of the devastation that we've seen over in Jamaica. Now, we've heard from several people that live here in the Kansas City community that traveled to Jamaica are now stuck on the island, and really just some devastating situations there as well. So we spoke with a couple from Olathe. They're there on behalf of a nonprofit. They say that they were able to shelter in place, but they say that there were winds over 180 miles an hour. We also spoke with one gentleman who says that he has family over in Jamaica. He traveled there last Wednesday, was set to leave on Sunday, but like so many others, his flight was canceled. Again, this is still in the very early stages of this storm, of this Hurricane Melissa passing through the island. So we're going to learn a lot more here over the next couple days. But by everyone that we spoke with, it will be a long road to recovery.
Again, that was KCTV5's Nathan Brennan reporting. Now, we do want to move along with your local news headlines, but this is also hitting nationally. The government shutdown is creeping toward the record held by the previous longest shutdown after yet another failed vote in the Senate on Tuesday. Now at day 29, a legal fight is brewing over whether the Trump administration can tap into funds to release SNAP benefits. CBS's Jared Hill has the latest.
From Washington, D.C. to Florida.
This your first shutdown? God bless you, honey.
Food lines stretch on as the government shutdown stretches into its 29th day.
We need help, we need support, and we need our Congress to be there for us.
The message is simple. End the shutdown today.
The president of the Air Traffic Controllers Union Tuesday, on the first day they missed a full paycheck, despite having to stay on the job.
An already demanding job, add on to that, how am I going to provide for my family? How am I going to pay the bills?
For 40 million Americans, growing concerns about where they'll find their next meal, as the Department of Agriculture says money for the SNAP Food Assistance Program will run out on Saturday. A group of more than 24 states is suing the Trump administration to release contingency funds.
The money is there. The hungry people, the hungry children, the hungry veterans, the hungry elderly could be fed. But Trump's using them as hostages.
Top Senate Democrat Chuck Schumer says they'll introduce a bill to fund SNAP. Republicans, though, are pushing back.
Why wouldn't you just open it up and have everybody get their benefits now?
The battle over benefits as the Senate failed to advance the GOP's funding bill for a 13th time. Democrats holding out for extensions to health care subsidies. President Trump this morning on Air Force One during his trip through Asia.
I'd say open up the government and we'll work it out.
As Americans remain caught in the middle. Jared Hill, CBS News.
And meanwhile, a federal judge has indefinitely barred the Trump administration from firing government employees due to the shutdown. This stands as a lawsuit challenging the effort makes its way through the courts.
If the shutdown does continue into November, 42 million Americans could lose their food assistance. Missouri Senator Josh Hawley is pushing a bill to keep SNAP benefits flowing, and he says he's confident that it could pass.
For a lot of people in this building, this is sort of a game. You know, it's like, oh, who's ahead, who's behind, as if it's a horse race. It's not a horse race. 42 million people are about to go without food, including a lot of children. In my state, it's 650,000 people. I mean, that's extraordinary. If the Democrats won't consent to reopen the government, let's at least ensure that kids aren't going hungry.
And meanwhile, 25 states are suing to force continued SNAP funding during the government shutdown, including Kansas Governor Laura Kelly. They argue that there's enough money to keep food stamps flowing for millions of families.
We've been checking in with local food pantries all month about the potential impact. You may have seen some of these stories. Harvesters, Coldwater and Lee Summit, and St. Francis Xavier Catholic Church in Kansas City all tell us the same thing, that demand is already up and they're bracing for it to get worse if SNAP benefits stop.
And it is another historic day for Kansas City as the U.S. women's national team will play their first ever game at CPKC Stadium. The team is taking on New Zealand at 7 tonight. KCTV5's Gabby Luma joins us from inside the stadium to explain just how exciting this match is.
I'm KCTV5's Gabby Luma inside CPKC Stadium, where the U.S. women's national soccer team is set to take on New Zealand tonight in their first ever match at CPKC Stadium, which is a stadium specifically built and designed for women's sports. It's a historic day here in Kansas City and for all of women's sports. Now, the match is tonight at 7 o'clock. I did look at Ticketmaster, so here's what we're looking at for ticket prices. On the lower end, you got $31. That's for section 123, row 7, around that area. Now, if you're looking for a little bit of a higher end, that'll be around a couple $100. But, I mean, being able to be in the stadium where there's really no bad seat, I mean, it is priceless to witness history.
Yes, Gabby is right about that. And something else that's going to be priceless. Kansas City's countdown to the World Cup now about 7.5 months away. And we're getting a first look at what families can enjoy, even if going to the game isn't an option. So what you're seeing right here is the site of FanFest on the World War I Museum lawn. It will include movie theater-sized screens, live music, plus interactive soccer zones where kids and adults can play, and it's all going to be free. One local business owner we talked to says he's experienced FanFest nearly 4 years ago in Qatar and says soccer fans will have a lot to look forward to.
I've been in one World Cup, which is in Qatar, and I've been to the FanFest. It's incredible. You know, you feel part of the game without being at the stadium.
Now, there's going to be 18 days confirmed for FanFest, but more could be announced later. And there is a registration process to get in, plus a cap of 25,000 people at a time. That's a lot of people.
That is a lot of people just taking all of that in. But again, the excitement continues to build. And if you are hoping to get World Cup tickets in Kansas City, you now have another chance. FIFA's second ticket draw is open through Friday morning. And if you are selected in the lottery, you'll get an invite to buy tickets on November 7th. So go ahead and mark that on your calendar. You'll find more details in our app and also on KCTV5.com.
So I have on my orange today in honor of Halloween. We're a couple days away. But before we get to the fun, we want you to know about this safety alert. There are relaxed rules for sex offenders that have only been in place since last year. And registered sex offenders are no longer required to have a sign outside their home deterring trick-or-treaters. So before your kids knock on a stranger's door this Halloween, here's what you need to know. Registered sex offenders in Missouri have to turn off all their lights after 5 p.m. They can't put up any Halloween decorations, and they cannot participate in any Halloween events with children. Law enforcement officials urge you to plan out your route before going trick-or-treating.
Know the neighborhood you're going to before you go. If it's not a neighborhood you regularly go to or something like that, then you shouldn't probably go in that direction.
All right, you can find a map of registered sex offenders in your area with a direct link to this story on KCTV5's news app.
And this Halloween could be a real treat for a very special young boy right here in our community. We first introduced you to 3-year-old Tucker Langford earlier this month when people from all over Kansas City, they lined up to help put a smile on his face when Tucker was released from the hospital. A parade of trucks, cars, and bikes were there to send him home. Tucker is getting hospice care for butterfly skin. That's a rare disease that makes the skin so fragile. Touching it causes blistering. Now his family is inviting everyone to their house near Northeast 43rd Terrace and Topping Road for trick-or-treating this weekend. And that is just west of Worlds of Fun. But this trick-or-treating will work in reverse of what we're typically used to. KCTV5's Morgan Rydell explains.
So at this house here, you might think this is a family who really loves Christmas. But this meaning goes a lot deeper. A little boy who lives here has a rare medical condition. His family is combining his 2 favorite holidays to make this weekend as special as he is.
Pretty much whatever he wants, then we do what he wants.
Chandler Langford is Tucker's mother. Since Tucker was born, he's battled epidermolysis bullosa, or butterfly skin. There's no cure.
He gets medicine pretty much around the clock. So we have alarms set, so then we are on top of it. And there's times where he only gets 2 meds. There's times where he gets 8 meds.
Keeping Tucker comfortable is an all-hands-on-deck effort with his mom, dad, and grandparents.
We've adapted to it, and we've come to realize, like, okay, this is what he needs.
This week also coincides with EB Awareness Week.
He's a normal little boy. I mean, just because he has a skin condition doesn't mean anything, doesn't stop him. There's a saying that says, my skin is not contagious, my love is. And so, I mean, that's true.
A smart little boy who knows all of his ABCs, loves Paw Patrol, and cherishes his family.
Yeah, you cheer Dad on.
Although a clear favorite, holidays. Tucker was born on Christmas Eve, so instead of ghosts and goblins, the house is decked out for Santa. A bit early, but a bit of joy at Tucker's request.
That's all we care, is him and his safety and his health and making sure that he's happy.
Until the big December holiday, Tucker's family is hoping the community will stop by this week for Halloween with a treat for Tucker, or even just to bring a smile.
Really anything. I mean, he loves Paw Patrol. So, I mean, if people were to dress up as Paw Patrol people, I mean, that would blow his mind away.
Tucker will be on the patio here Friday and Saturday from 5 to 8, ready to greet trick-or-treaters. And of course, this house on the corner, it is hard to miss with all of these decorations. And of course, that Tucker Tough message. Reporting in Kansas City, Morgan Rydell, KCTV5 News.
And Janae, you went to Tucker's parade, right?
Mm-hmm. I went to his parade. It's hard to believe that it was the beginning of this month, but so many people, thousands of people showed up to support him and to cheer him on when he was released going into hospice care. So I can only imagine how many are going to show up this weekend at his home to celebrate his favorite holiday, Christmas, this Halloween weekend. So I think that's a special story.
Very special.
And go ahead.
Oh, I was just going to say, you know, our thoughts and our prayers go to Tucker and his family, and hopefully we get a bigger turnout for Halloween.
That's very true. And, you know, his family, I want to say this as well, but he gets a lot of his strength is from his family. But to just see them there at that parade and them breaking down, just a very resilient family. I'll give them that for sure. But definitely show out, and we do have more information on our website, KCTV5.com, which we're looking at right now as we prepare for Halloween, Taylor.
So if you do go to see Tucker, they want Paw Patrol costumes, but we have some others right here. So we have that Sully and actually,
Sully.
all right, so
that's Dodgeball. That's actually
the movie.
a creative costume.
That's super cute. That's Blair and what they say their name, Blair and Andrea. If you can dodge a wrench, you can dodge a ball. Okay.
That's cool.
All right, so then we have the Wormwoods and a baby Crunch Bowl ready to put you in the chokey. Matilda. That's Matilda.
I've never seen Matilda.
Oh my
so
gosh,
that's why I was like, oh, this
yes.
is a.
Yep,
this is
that's
something I've never
Matilda.
seen before. Okay.
A pirate.
A pirate's
Okay.
life for me. Okay.
Oh, all right. We got a scary clown. All right. Ashlyn as Zoe from K-pop Demon Hunters.
Oh, I love it. You go ahead.
That's so
Ashley.
specific.
Is that
So
Ashlyn.
cute. Let's see. Our neighbors are so creative, changing it up every day. The yard decorations have been something
They go
to see.
all out.
I
Okay,
was
so
Go ahead.
Oh, look at this one.
Oh my goodness. So KC Spider-Man has some competition. The one that be all around town. I was on my way to work out and someone had this huge skeleton on their balcony of their apartment. It was interesting. Scream and SpongeBob. Okay, classic. We have a police officer.
Oh, this is great. This is great. So
oh
you
my
can
goodness.
submit your
that's
photos.
Napoleon Dynamite.
Oh yeah, I can see it with the wig.
LaFonda.
Yeah.
Cute. Oh, Taylor Swift.
Yeah.
Oh, so many.
Oh, this is creative. The cheesiest. It's the easy.
Oh,
Mac.
the Easy Mac. Look at his fork. It looks like a pitchfork.
I
So cute. Well, please be sure to send us your pictures, your Halloween costumes, and your decor. Just go to kctv5.com and hit submit photo. We have some astronauts.
This is so cute.
The cutest.
Okay,
oh my goodness, a holy cat. Oh, okay. So this cat's name is Fog, just like Warren Sears' dog.
Who's coming up next?
Perfect segue. Which he said he was going to dress his dog as a shark for the 3rd year in a row. I feel like Fog deserves better.
Justice for Fog. Alrighty, we're taking a live look over the Kansas City Metro. We have meteorologist Warren Sears coming up next with what you can expect today, and also as we look ahead to the weekend. If you're getting your costumes together right now, we'll be right back.
Hi there, I'm First Warren 5 meteorologist Warren Sears. Happy Wednesday. It has been a cool and very damp start to the morning. We continue to see those conditions push through lunch, but good news, we are drying out as the day goes on. 6 straight days of measurable rain at the airport. It's going to be nice to see some sun after this stretch. We do have some sunshine on the way. Lots to look forward to here. This is a pretty solid stretch after we get through today. Today's not very nice of a day. But later this week, warming temperatures, more sun. We also have a return to the 60s. But some of our mornings honestly look kind of chilly. So let's get to your forecast here. We first are going to start with looking ahead into your the rest of your Wednesday. Rain tapers off. We do dry out, but our temperatures are going to stay pretty well locked into the lower 50s. Now, later this week, we have colder mornings. We even have the potential for a little bit of patchy frosts. First frost for some people this season. You can see a bulk of the heavier rain now pushing off to the south and east of Kansas City. We are still locked into a little bit of a cloud field, though. Here locally, there might be a little bit of mist or drizzle still left over, but a bulk of the heaviest rain is done, and the computers do suggest that after we get through the 3 o'clock, 4 o'clock time frame, those clouds could at least start to break up a little bit. So I'm hoping for a few peaks of sun the later we go in the day, closer to sunset, but we'll for sure see skies clear overnight and into your Thursday morning. So definitely expect those temperatures to drop because your skies are going to clear and it is going to get mighty cool. 48, that is all we're at right now, is the airport temperature, and it feels like 40. We had a wind advisory in place through 10 o'clock. They did expire it, but honestly, it is still just as windy. We have a north wind right now sustained around 30 miles per hour, and gusts are even stronger than that. Now, we are seeing a trend of weakening those winds a little bit later on, but all in all, it's going to stay very cool and blustery for a little while. 51, that's all I think we'll get to today. Everyone else across the board, lower 50s. That's about 10 degrees below that normal for this time of the year. Now, your forecast wind gusts are at their strongest now. I think by the time we get to 2, 3 o'clock this afternoon, it'll still be breezy out of the north, about 30 miles per hour. But then later this evening and into the overnight, that does start to settle back, and we are expecting very comfortable but crisp conditions out there Thursday morning. So it's going to be pretty chilly. Look at your morning lows, 30s across the board. I think everybody will be in the mid 30s for the most part, but a couple of lower 30s will be possible to sprinkle in farther north. That could mean a brief freeze for a few of you up near the Iowa state line. For the rest of us, I think it's a better chance to just have some frost out there. That is when there's a little bit of moisture, a little water vapor in the air that can freeze on contact with some surfaces that sometimes can be a little cooler than the air temperature. So regardless, there is the potential for a little bit of frost. That is why the frost advisory was issued for early Thursday. That's for a good chunk of our coverage area. This does not include those of you down into the Lakes region, Bates, Henry, Benton counties, also Pettis and Johnson and Saline counties. You're not included in this, but I still think it's going to be pretty close to frost advisory criteria for you. So probably best for everybody in the KCTV coverage area to practice maybe covering up those plants, bring them on in, sensitive plants. Now, thankfully, it is just a couple of hours, so we're not talking about, all night, but I do still think that there's a small window from about 4 to 8 that we could have some patchy frost across the board. You see out to the west, there's a freeze watch. That is a better chance for freezing conditions down near 32 degrees, and that's going to be across Kansas, central Kansas, the Flint Hills and kind of out that way. So not quite as cold here, but pretty close. We're going to stay pretty chilly. Again, mid-30s for your frost advisory. But you know what? Before I get to the trick-or-treat forecast here, I do want to show you our next 3 days. Where did that go? Next 3-day planner. And show you what to expect here later this week. Here we go. So changes are on the way, especially in the form of sunshine. We are able to drop that first warn today, so we'll go ahead and drop that off the graphics. But no more first warn in place. That means the bulk of your impacts, your heaviest rain, is done. Might have a few sprinkles lingering around left over, but I think for the most part, anything that we've picked up now will be our total for the storm itself. No more rain adding to our numbers. So 51 out there Wednesday, morning rain, and then eventually drying out. Thursday also looks dry, mainly sunny at 57. And Friday should be a pretty nice day. Halloween, 59 degrees, and that, again, is your high temperature in the afternoon. But that also does mean that even late afternoon, early evening, and closer to sunset, it'll be pretty pleasant as we kickstart our trick-or-treating. Maybe have a long sleeve under your kids' costumes because even though we'll be near 60 in the afternoon, 56 at 6 o'clock, we'll be 53 at 7, and then near 50 at 8. And then, of course, continuing to drop from there after that into the late evening time frame. So maybe you don't have kids, maybe you're going out yourself late evening. I would suggest having a jacket or a layer underneath your costume because it will get pretty chilly with temperatures dropping through the 40s, and then eventually Saturday morning will be in the 30s. So look at your Security Bank 7-day forecast here. We've got a few days of mornings in the 30s. So starting tomorrow, Thursday, Friday, Saturday, and Sunday mornings, all will be in the 30s. Some spots could be near freezing, but a lot of us will have a patchy frost chance each of those mornings. We have a dry front that comes through on Friday, so that'll knock us down about 6 degrees from 59 to 53. We'll go back with winds out of the south on Sunday and back to the lower 60s. Sunday looks like a really nice day. Saturday will be dry, but it doesn't look to be near as comfortable outside as Sunday. Sunday and Friday and Sunday are definitely the better days there. And then we'll be back on Monday and Tuesday to the mid 60s. So we do have some warmer air returning to the area. I know some of you are not too thrilled that we went from the 80s to this really cool stint, but we'll have many fall days in here, especially late weekend and early next week looks really, really pleasant. And our mornings won't be quite as chilly and we'll be in the 40s. So that is a look kind of at your next 7 days. It is a dry stretch once we get through basically now the next few hours. We're drying out as we speak, but it's still going to stay pretty cloudy and pretty damp out there this afternoon. But I'm hoping for a few peaks of sun the later we go into the day. Then lots of sun really fills this forecast. Got many days in the 50s and then many days in the 60s. That is a look at your late morning forecast. I hope you got some good rain in your yard, and we will see you coming up at noon with your next weather update. Aside from that, though, Taylor and Janae will be back here very shortly, and we will see you. They're making fun of how I said Janae. Taylor and Janae will be right back. We'll see you in just a second.
Thanks for staying with us here on KCTV5 Plus. Hurricane Melissa is leaving its mark in the Caribbean this morning. The now Category 3 storm made landfall in Cuba after bringing destruction to Jamaica. Melissa hit the island as a Category 5 yesterday afternoon. But organizations in our area, they are doing what they can to help bring relief, including Heart to Heart. And here to talk with us all about their efforts is Director of Disaster Response, J.P. Fisher. Thank you so much for being with us today, JP.
Thank you for having us.
All right. JP, is your, let me see if your mic is on. We can't hear you.
Oh, can you hear me now?
All right. Give us 1 second here. All right, let's try now, JP.
Hey, can you hear me?
Perfect. Yes, we gotcha. Thank you so much for being with us here today.
Yeah, thank you for having us. Heart to Heart, we're a disaster relief nonprofit based down in Lenox. We work after disasters all around the world, in the U.S. as well. We're actively watching the situation in Jamaica and have already launched an emergency response.
Yes, and so we just recently reported that you all have sent over some hygiene kits or are preparing to send over some hygiene kits. Can you tell us about that?
Yeah, so we worked in Jamaica last year for Hurricane Beryl, so we're very familiar with the area and we have a strong partner network. So as we were watching the storm approach, we were able to initiate a shipment of just over 2,400 hygiene kits to one of those trusted partners. But now, after the storm has passed, we're starting to see more requests for aid, especially hygiene kits. But we also know medicines and medical supplies are going to be a big need in the coming days and weeks.
And so we know that you just mentioned that you guys helped out with Hurricane Beryl. You've worked with other disaster relief efforts. How do you work to prepare for these? You know, some storms, you don't know when they're gonna hit, but it seems like whenever it's time to deploy, you all are ready.
Exactly. Yeah. So we maintain a roster of volunteer doctors and nurses, many from the Kansas City area. So we host exercises and trainings, and something that we are looking at for Hurricane Melissa is deploying one of those emergency medical teams. We're coordinating with the WHO. We're coordinating with the Ministry of Health locally in Jamaica to see, is there a need for external medical team support? And we're ready to go. We spent the last week sort of prepping and packing and planning to be down there tomorrow once airports and flights reopen. And it's really to go down and see what are those unmet health needs and how can Heart to Heart help to fill those gaps.
And when it comes to situations like this one, who are you all usually in communication with to know exactly what the needs are there?
Yeah, anyone and everyone. First of all, we have to listen to that the host community. So directly in coordination with the Ministry of Health in Jamaica, with our other humanitarian partners, our other peer organizations. And then we also work at the regional level too, through the Caribbean Disaster and Emergency Management Agency. So they're hosting coordination calls. We participate in those. We also have local contacts on the ground, people who we met last year during Hurricane Beryl. So we're able to get some of that ground truth of what's actually happening there.
And when you're on the ground, I mean, what is that experience like? You know, we see these images on television, but I'm sure it's a whole other ball game when you're actually there.
Yeah, this is normal for Heart to Heart. We've deployed to many disasters throughout our 35-year history, and yeah, every disaster is different. But especially in Jamaica, we're expecting to see high levels of damage. The challenges are going to be logistics, so infrastructure, roads, airports in country, ensuring that that debris is removed, so then our teams can move in and start providing those health services directly to disaster survivors.
And about how long do you all stay on the ground? We heard that there are some areas in Jamaica that it might be hard to get to, so it could take a while before the damage in those spaces can be assessed.
Yeah, so we'll stay as long as we're needed. We know that we are an external actor coming in. Disasters start local and end local. But when that local capacity is overwhelmed, then organizations like Heart to Heart will come in to fill that gap. But at this point, it's hard to tell. It could be anywhere from 1 month up to 6 months. But we do know that the recovery period in Jamaica will take years and years. This is the largest hurricane, I think, in 174 years to hit Jamaica since they even started recording strength of hurricanes. So this has a significant impact on the country. So it'll take years to rebuild and recover.
Yeah, it's really scary and tragic to hear that statistic because Jamaica is just seen as a place of sun and beauty, a place where a lot of people like to escape, and just to see what the people at that local community there are going through, it's really hard. So for those who can support you guys, with the hygiene kits and the materials and things, how can people get involved?
Yeah, so you can definitely visit our website at hearttoheart.org. We do hygiene events within the community, but also after a disaster, it really is that financial donation that really makes the most difference. We don't want to be clogging supply chains, sending product that might not be needed to the impacted area. So definitely find a trusted organization like Heart to Heart, and we're a part of that larger humanitarian response, and we can ensure that it's getting to the right people at the right time. Yeah, so thank you.
Yeah, and that's major. What you just said, getting the right things to the right people at the right time. So, just for you personally, what does this work mean to you? Do you feel a sense of fulfillment being able to help others in this way? It can be a really big undertaking.
Yes, definitely. Yeah, I always say disaster relief and humanitarianism is sort of a profession in and of itself. So I've had the privilege to be able to deploy to many disasters, and really we get to see the best of humanity. We get to participate in that as communities start coming together and rebuilding. It is really powerful to see. And then also our local partners on the ground, as I mentioned, they're the ones who are there before, during, and going to be there long after. So getting the privilege to support them, I always say that they're the real heroes in these situations.
Awesome. Well, JP, thank you so much for being with us today and just sharing the work that you're doing, and letting folks know also how they can be involved. What you're doing is very important, and we will for sure be keeping our eye on the situation as well.
Thank you. Yeah, and to learn more about our response and some of our other programmatic areas, please visit hearttoheart.org. Thanks for having us.
Awesome. Thank you, JP, again. And we're going to take a break, and we'll be right back.
Welcome back into KCTV5 Plus, and welcome in to Wellness Wednesday. Of course, we're here with Latrice Kabuya. Hello, Latrice.
Hello.
How are you?
Still on cloud nine.
Yeah. If you didn't know, if you happened to miss the last 2 weeks when we've mentioned it, you had your event this past weekend, your mental health symposium. Tell us a little bit more. Give us a recap as to how it went for you.
Well, first of all, thank you.
Yeah.
You were, oh my gosh, so amazing. So you interviewed me in my book, and man, you made me cry.
You made me cry at the end, Latrice.
Wait, what is happening here? But it was so beautiful. You saw networking. You saw people coming together, connecting, getting aha moments, you know, writing. I mean, some people came to me and showed me everything they were writing. I'm getting testimonials even to up until this morning. I was just getting people, and they're sharing and saying this was transformative. And so I am so thankful to the Lord, because I'm not just out here doing it. I want it to be purposeful.
Right.
I want people's lives to be changed, right? And so that's what happened Saturday. A transformative Saturday at my symposium. The speakers were dynamic. They just poured into the people. But what's interesting, a lot of the speakers came back and said they were poured into. They thought they were coming on an assignment and mission, but then they got so much as well.
They were challenged.
So they walked away. Everyone, I believe, walked away if they wanted to change. I think, you know, just a revelation. I mean, I was getting things, it was just like, ooh, even you interviewing me in my book, the way your questions, it was like, okay, ma'am, this what we doing? Okay, but
and your book it was amazing. And that's the thing is, when I was reading through it, and I won't go too much into it, but just the way you wrote it, and as I touched on Saturday, I mean, the affirmations, and then challenging the reader. Here's a journal prompt, and this is what you need to say to yourself. And it's like, wow, these are the type of books that I like. I can get into because it's engaging, right? And a lot of times you were saying things that I even related with. So just kudos to you,
Thank
Latrice.
you.
And again,
thank
congratulations
you.
on a successful event. You created that space. So
Thank
here today,
you.
we do want to create a space for our viewers. Just focusing on the importance of mental health, especially with everything going on. I mean, the government shut down, SNAP benefits possibly being taken away from millions of Americans. And then also you have Hurricane Melissa that just made landfall early this morning. We know a lot of Kansas Cityans. They know people there. They have family there, or they're still there in Jamaica right now. So with that being said, just how does uncertainty with everything that's going on really impact your mental health?
Oh my goodness. So when we have crisis, tragedy, trauma, it really messes with our nervous system, right? And so our response, you know, fight, flight, freeze, or fawn starts to take place. And we sometimes get consumed because we can't think outside of what's happening, whatever that crisis or that challenge is. And so it brings on depression and anxiety and stress and sadness. And so therefore, you know, you want to try and walk away, but it's like a living nightmare, if you will. And so it does impact our mental in a very negative manner. It's very hard. It's I would love to make this sound real pretty and be very articulate, but I'm just going to be very honest. It's hard.
It's hard.
It's hard.
And you know what? It's especially hard as we count down to the holidays. I mean, Thanksgiving is next month, and then you have Christmas not too far behind that, and New Year's Eve, the top of the new year. So what should people be doing in this moment to really prioritize and take care of themselves?
Yes, great question. One of the things I would say is limit TV because, oh my goodness, the consumption and how it impacts that mental space, right? So yes, watch it, get informed, find out what's happening, and then limit that, you know. Routines definitely help the mental space,
Right.
especially those individuals who may not be working right now, right? Because they're laid off. Still find some routine. Routine helps our mental health, our nervous system feel safe and stable. So a routine is beautiful. Meditation definitely is a key in helping with your mental wellness and your well-being. Community. Don't do this alone. Don't isolate yourself because of crisis and challenges. Find one or two individuals that you can connect to, talk to, right? Find that safe space so that you can get it out, or even journaling. And I know people tell me, I hate to journal, I hate to write. Speak it.
Yeah.
Speak it. I do that, right? I talk it out, and then find self-care. Do something that pours into you, you know, whatever it is. If it's taking a nap, if it's walking,
Which I told you I'm getting ready to do today.
Absolutely.
Because the weather is just not helping. And, you know,
exactly,
especially with everything that's going on. I mean, it is hard sometimes.
It is.
When you feel like I just need to take a nap.
Right.
But don't get
Separate.
stuck in that, you know?
Absolutely. And that's the key. That's why you're doing all these different things. That's why you're staying with community, because when you're by yourself, it's easy to isolate. It's easy to stay stuck. So when you have accountability partners that will help you navigate, or say, sis, let's do a little more conversation. And also, don't forget to go to a therapist, a counselor, someone that can help you navigate your heaviness, your emotions, your feelings. We need community. Bottom line. I know a lot of times we say, we don't need anyone, we got this. And you do. You do got it with community.
No, and I love that point. We need community because, again, you are not the only one. And so I think another huge piece of this is just checking on your loved ones and making sure that they're okay, because even if you're not impacted by the government shutdown, you won't be impacted, or Hurricane Melissa, or anything for that matter that's happening. You just check on other people, and we've talked about that before, just how important that is and what it could mean to someone. So moving along, I mean, how do you cope with disaster even when you're not in the storm? Let's talk a little bit more about secondary trauma.
Oh my goodness, secondary trauma is just as powerful. And so you have to do those things, just like if you were directly affected by it. So the meditation, the therapy, the you know, your thoughts, those intrusive thoughts, replacing them with positive thoughts and positive talk, boundaries, putting boundaries around things that will protect your well-being, you know, put yourself in spaces that are healthy, that are uplifting. Take time to be honest. Where are you mentally and emotionally? And then from there, navigate that piece. If that is going to a therapist, if that is going to group therapy, right? That is something that is powerful. Group therapy, you know, finding community, sometimes even doing things for others, help with that mental space. You may not be directly involved, but you'll see those emails or the commercials to help. And so sometimes sending, you know, funds or those type of things also are vitally important in helping that mental space, that mental capacity. But don't ignore it. Don't try and suppress the feelings. Be very honest with them. Be honest with yourself that this is heavy, this is hard, but also remind yourself you can do hard things. You know, you can get through this. You can rise above it, right? You know, just shift your thinking. Take those thoughts, those intrusive thoughts, turn them to positive.
I love that. And I want to go back to the beginning of our conversation when we were talking about your book that's newly released. When we were talking about that, and we were talking about journal prompts that you included inside your book. So we want to challenge our viewers here today. If you could give them, Latrice, a journal prompt for today, this Wellness Wednesday, what would it be? What would they write about?
You will make it.
Okay.
You have victory.
Okay.
And it doesn't always look like it, especially when we fall, but you have the power to get up and lean into your strength and your resilience.
Yeah.
You do hard things well, and you will get through this. Yeah. You'll get through it.
The storm won't last forever, right?
It doesn't. Seasons change.
Yeah.
And you're growing, and you have victory, and you are worth it. So operate in it. Operate in your confidence. Operate in your ability, because your gifting, your purpose is to help others. And you are powerful. You're more powerful than you think. So you are well loved.
Oh, Latrice, and we love you. Thank you so much for joining me here on KCTV5 Plus for today's Wellness Wednesday. Much needed, especially as I touched on everything that's going on with the government shutdown and anything else that our viewers may be dealing with. So, again, thank you so much, and we'll see you next Wednesday.
Yes.
For now, we're going to take a quick break. We'll be right back. It has been the talk of our newsroom and the city, for that matter. A Kansas City jazz bar claims to be haunted, so haunted paranormal investigators stepped in to check out the unexplained activity. So, of course, we had to send KCTV5 Sharon Chin to tag along. Hi, Sharon.
Hi, Janae. Hey, Taylor.
Thank you for joining us for Behind the Story today. This is something I have been looking forward to ever since you brought it up to me last week. A haunted jazz bar in KC. Something I just don't know if I would attend.
You're
just
brave.
because I'm terrified. But I do want to get into, how did you find this jazz bar? How did the story come about?
Well, okay, so we talk about Halloween.
Yeah.
We talk about haunted. Now, originally, I wanted to check out Atchison, Kansas, because that's kind of known as the most haunted town in Kansas. And so I thought, well, how much fun would it be to go along with a paranormal investigator? So I contacted some paranormal investigators, and in doing so, she was telling me all the different sites that they had done investigations at, and she landed at the Phoenix Jazz Bar, and I went, wait, the one in downtown Kansas City? She said, yes, we've had some activity, and it was a really interesting investigation. And so, yeah, the rest is history.
The rest is history, and we're getting ready to dive into it. This is Taylor's first time looking at the story, so we're getting her raw reaction. Let's take a listen in.
Okay.
The Phoenix Jazz Bar. It's one of the oldest and most popular haunts in Kansas City, a place to take in a tune or two, grab a drink at the bar, where the spirits,
there's been little signs here and there,
aren't just in the bottles.
What have you experienced? We have glasses that'll get knocked over back here.
Ashley DeMoss is bartender, and she'll tell you she's often not alone.
We have one particular bar chair that kind of moves around, does its own thing.
From bartenders to servers.
So Madam Law, I feel the most here. She likes to hang around in the mornings. She's the one that likes to move things.
They've all experienced something at the Phoenix.
I looked over when I was cleaning dishes, and I seen this figure, like a man. Come to find out, it was Valerius, who used to own the bar.
Frank Valerius. In 1905, he opened the Valerius Saloon, the very first bar in what was then the Phoenix Hotel. Upstairs, Madam Lena Law's rented rooms. But rumor has it that guests weren't exactly sleeping. Maybe Frank and Madam Law's never left.
The history of this place and the whole building is just really amazing. For there not to be any activity here would be surprising.
Becky Ray founded Paranormal Activity Investigations. Her team investigated the Phoenix in June.
What did you find?
We got some electronic voice phenomena. That's when we have recording devices and there are voices that show up on it that weren't there at the time we were recording it.
The team shared those electronic voice phenomena, or EVPs, with us. Let's see if you can hear it. In it, the bar manager asks a question, and it sounds like someone answers.
Were you the one I saw in the mirror?
And in another, a reaction from this same voice.
Are you from Kansas City?
Sarah Crow led the Phoenix investigation.
The recordings that you gave me, you do hear like a different voice.
Yeah.
That was not
any of us. The nice thing is we all recognize each other's voices at this point, and we try to make sure that we're not whispering or making weird noises.
We needed more evidence.
What is known about that chair that you're next to?
So we tagged along on another investigation.
We've heard that there seems to be activity around the chair, and it's entirely possible that person's energy is still here.
An electrical tripwire is used to test the theory.
What they look for is changes in the electricity in the air, and there's a hypothesis that ghosts use that energy.
Then questions are asked to draw out said energy.
Is there anybody here with us? Is Frank here with us?
And there it was.
Yep. Okay. Oh. Yeah. And as you can see, it's right in front of that third chair there.
The light seemed only to respond at the third chair.
Is Lena here? Do you know Lena?
What do you have to say, though, to the skeptic that goes, there's no ghosts?
They can believe whatever they want to believe. You know, that's fine with me. I'm not trying to prove anything.
I still don't feel alone.
Whether you believe in ghosts or not,
I feel like they like me. I feel like we're friends.
the Phoenix reminds us of something important. Every old building in Kansas City has stories. Some are documented history. Others, well, they're mysteries that keep us wondering about the people who came before us.
They're not scary, but I know they're there.
So what stories are hiding in your neighborhood?
Okay, so my first question, and I wonder if you maybe asked this off the record or whatever. If somebody sits in that chair, what happens? Like, are they sitting on the spirit? Does it have any sort of reaction? Like, I'm curious about that. If
Yeah,
you're in that
I
one
mean,
chair.
we did ask, and I mean, you can still. I even sat in that chair.
Yeah, I was gonna say,
nothing
Taylor,
happened.
that means you need to go.
Yeah,
and
you need to go and
sit in the chair.
I
experience
sit
it.
in that chair.
I will say, I mean, I didn't experience anything in sitting in that chair, but
Yeah.
when you walk into that bar, the energy is different. And
Yeah.
beyond what you saw in that story, we did experience some things that really have you questioning what is
tell
happening
us.
here.
Like?
So when you saw that picture of Frank Valerius, that is actually hanging in the basement hallway of the bar. And so before we went down there to get a shot of that picture, everything was fine. But after Riley, my photographer, went and shot that picture, she came back up. Her equipment started immediately malfunctioning.
Wow. He said, no pictures, please.
Yes.
Oh my goodness.
And what's really the one thing that made me go cold is she was talking about her equipment malfunctioning, and then a little bit later on she was trying to get a shot of me and the paranormal investigator talking at the bar. You saw us kind of standing there. She said her camera, it has automatic focus, it kept wanting to go to the bar and that third chair.
So he's like, come
it
on
was
over.
like trying to focus on something there, but it wasn't there.
Wow.
So, I mean, you can believe or you cannot believe, but certainly there are some things happening in that bar that are very unexplained, if you will.
I'm going to choose to believe.
I know. It's hard not to. It really is.
It's so fascinating, though. And I love how you ended it there, Sharon. Every building, every place in the city has a story, because it just makes you think, what other building, what other whatever a space has a haunted story that may be dealing with something very similar.
So many questions.
For sure.
Yeah, and so now I kind of want to go, and I want to take Taylor just for her reaction. You know what I mean?
See you guys feel Frank or Lena. But I will say this morning, you know, we post these stories on our social media, and I just went to go kind of take a gander to see what kind of comments there were on it. And wouldn't you know, there was a lot of people there that said, oh, well, this place is haunted too, and this place is haunted too. All of these old buildings. And if you think about it, Kansas City is an old city. So that history is very long. The buildings are very old. So no doubt there's got to be some activity. And the paranormal investigators that I went with, if you go to their website, they've done so many different investigations, and they have all of their evidence posted there on their website.
That's
so you could take a look for yourself and decide, is it real, is it not?
You know what? I feel like there's probably a class or something where they focus on these types of things. But how long did this investigation last? I mean, is it still ongoing? Or?
It's still ongoing.
Okay.
So they were there in June. That investigation was a little more extensive. And then the second part was, you know, it was more abbreviated, but we were there for, as you saw, just that one experiment. And I mean, it was kind of telling, I felt.
Right.
Yeah. So what were your thoughts when they played the audio for you? Of, like, the conversation?
I didn't expect to hear anything at all. When you listen to it online, it's probably a little bit clearer because you can, I don't want to speak for anybody watching it, but to me, I actually heard wording, and it was truly creepy because it didn't sound like a voice from this world. So I don't. If they did produce it, I don't know how they.
Sharon, this
that
is the perfect
chills.
Halloween story. The perfect Halloween
story.
Yeah. Because I'm like, oh goodness, Sharon. Okay, so I have to imagine though, this is bringing a lot of business to this bar as well.
Mm-hmm.
Like a lot of people are coming in specifically because they know it could be haunted.
Well, that's the thing is the Phoenix Jazz Bar is a popular jazz destination here in Kansas City.
Yeah.
And a lot of people, some may know, but some actually don't know. And that was when she told me about the Phoenix Jazz Bar investigation. She did say that this is a location that not a lot of people equate it with being haunted. But yeah, it is.
Gosh, so the folks that work there that you had a chance to talk to, did they say like what keeps them working there?
Oh my gosh. So the second Ashley that you saw, the one that talked about Madame Law moving things, well, she's been there for 9 years and she just accepted it. She was like, it's just part of Kansas City. These old buildings, they have to be haunted. They're friendly spirits. They just kind of come and go and they kind of appear. And she was even funnier. She said that she was very descriptive in her when she was talking about Madame Laws, saying that she appears mostly in the morning, and when you set stuff up and if she doesn't like it, she's going to tell you. And she even went as far to say that she has heard Madame Law speaking to her, which I found that very interesting. But the one that was most interesting was Ashley, the bartender that we spoke with. She's only been there for 3 years, and you can tell in speaking with her, and even in her interview there, you can tell that she's still very, very spooked by what's happening at the Phoenix, especially when she spoke about seeing what may have been Frank Valerius in the window. She, her voice got very shaky, and you could see that she just was not okay with that experience.
Yeah, I mean, it's paranormal.
Yeah.
It's weird.
Yeah, it's weird. It's like it's not of this world, but you never expect. That's what she said. She's like, I never expected this to be a part of my life.
Yeah.
But she even said, hey, I kind of accepted it. They're friendly.
I guess,
so
I
I'm
guess
okay
that's
with
the
it.
big piece of it. As long as they're friendly, because
Yeah.
if you have a spirit that's just messing with you all the time and does not mean well.
Yeah.
Oh my God. Sharon, what would you say was the scariest piece of it all? Like, as you were taking part in this investigation and watching them do it all, what was the scariest thing?
I think the part that really just, like I said, made me go cold, like you can do all these experiments and you're like, oh, okay, yeah, that's interesting. But when it hits you or your crew personally, like when Riley's equipment immediately started malfunctioning after she got that video of Valerius, that's when I went, oh,
this is the real thing.
Might be a real thing.
I would have been like, what do you mean
Nothing
it's
to play
not working?
with?
Yeah, I did ask her that because when she told me, and I went, what do you mean? She's like, no, I'm serious. My camera is doing weird stuff. And I asked her specifically, I said, was it doing this before? She's like, it has never done this before.
Oh my goodness.
And so that's when I went, oh gosh.
I would have been like, Sharon, what you get me into?
And you know what? Hey, props to Riley. She was so calm and cool and collected through all of this, because I know some of the other photographers that I've spoken about, our experience, they have said to me, nope, I would be out that door. So
good on that.
Yeah.
Yeah, and it seems like Taylor would be. I know I would be as well.
I'm a little tougher than I appear.
Yeah.
I would have hung in there, but well, I don't know. We'll see. I just know I'm not going to sit in the chair, and I'm not going to go to the basement. I don't want to see the picture.
Oh my
Well,
goodness.
that's
I don't
the
want to
thing.
see it.
The bathroom is in the basement.
I'm just going to have to hold it.
Go somewhere else.
Yeah.
I'll be right back. I just need to use the restroom.
I'm going to go across
I'm going to go down the block.
Go for a nice walk. Okay, Sharon. So when does the story air? First off,
this story airs tonight. But you can always watch it on KCTV5, the website now. It is posted now.
And you can see all the photos.
Go Sharon.
You can see all the photos and get some more information. But Sharon, thank you so much for joining us here on KCTV5 Plus for Behind the Story. I cannot wait until you bring your next one, because this one is very fascinating.
Yeah,
very
this is a fun one,
interesting.
for
Yeah,
sure.
I love love this one. Thank you so much, Sharon, and thank you all for joining us. We're going to take a quick break. We'll be right back. Welcome back into KCTV5 Plus. We are waiting for the Chiefs press conference to get underway. That is set to get started at around 11:45, and as soon as it does, we'll take you there live. We're expecting to hear from head coach Andy Reid as well as Patrick Mahomes, and the Chiefs are actually gearing up for an AFC Championship game rematch Sunday in Buffalo, but Kansas City could be without their leading rusher at Highmark Stadium. Running back Isaiah Pacheco is reportedly week to week after spraining his MCL Monday night, according to the NFL Network. He left the game after injuring his knee late in the fourth quarter, and he did not return. Now, Pacheco has logged a team-high 329 rushing yards on 78 carries.
Gosh,
Taylor.
we wish him well.
Definitely.
It's never a good thing when someone is hurt.
That's right.
Well, okay, so as you mentioned, that we have a rematch we're going to be seeing this coming Sunday. And the last time that Kansas City and Buffalo met, the Chiefs won and punched their ticket to the Super Bowl. Now they meet again on Sunday, and Buffalo does have a better record at 5-2, but Kansas City is favored by 1.5 points. So kickoff this Sunday is at 3:25 right here on KCTV5. And again, as you mentioned, we do have that press conference that's going to be coming on in about 20 minutes or so.
And it might feel like way too early, but Crown Center's holiday season kicks off officially next week. The mayor's Christmas tree arrives November 6th, all the way from Oregon. Crews will install it on the 7th, the same day the Ice Terrace skating rink opens. The tree lighting ceremony happens Black Friday. Okay, and so speaking of the holiday spirit, Taylor, this is my favorite holiday, so of course we have to get into it.
Yes.
Mariah Carey posted this video on Instagram yesterday, and as we know, she is the queen
of Christmas.
And so she posted this with the caption, "Not yet." And in the video, she's saying it's not time yet.
Yeah, so usually it's the day after Halloween.
Yes, so it's coming.
Yes, so get ready. So another thing I want to share about Mariah Carey, I read this earlier today. She's going to have Christmas pop-up bars. But it's
that was
only
last year too.
It's only in 4 cities though.
I know. She needs to expand. So
Yeah.
Mariah Carey,
it was
this
like New
message
York,
is for you. Yeah.
LA, Miami,
Chicago.
and Chicago.
Yeah.
But us too, hello.
I know, Kansas City. She needs to expand. But this is huge because I was just telling our desk Taylor this week, I'm tempted to put up my Christmas tree on November 1st.
I'm not even going to judge you.
I knew you weren't.
I'm
That's
not
why.
even going to judge you because I love it. I usually try to wait until Black Friday. But,
yes, that's a good one too.
You know,
but then I feel
not?
like I don't get enough time with
I
it,
know.
you
That's why I was like, why not? It's not enough time in the year.
And then you can shop on Black Friday
instead
or
of
Cyber
putting
Monday.
up the tree. That'll buy you back some more time.
Yeah, for things that you're like, oh, I don't have that.
Yeah.
I still need to get that. Just gives you some time to see what you do and don't have.
I'm excited because I'm in a new place this year and
You
I have
are.
more room to like decorate outside.
Yes.
So I'm really excited to like do lights and wreaths on both the doors.
Yeah.
It's going to be great.
I love it. Getting excited for the holidays. But that's not the only thing happening.
No. So Hallmark, they are looking for you if you want to be Mr. Christmas. All right. So they want to crown their very first Mr. Hallmark Christmas experience. Just submit a short video showing off your holiday cheer and your charm. The winner gets the title, a Christmas tree, and entry into the Hallmark Christmas experience. And all the details can be found in our app. So Carolina wanted to volunteer.
Oh, she loves
Warren.
Hallmark.
She wanted Warren to be Mr. Christmas.
Oh.
Janae's
Well, no,
like-
but she.
Well, I know she wanted to be in the movie.
She loves Hallmark, though.
Yeah,
From my understanding,
like the movies, the Hallmark movies.
Yeah, Hallmark movies.
Yeah,
But
she thinks Warren could be Mr. Christmas.
I love how Warren just becomes our guinea pig for everything. Because I've told him before, I'm going to volunteer you for this, and I actually have. Like, I've volunteered him for.
He has
stuff.
charm and cheer.
Yeah, he's the perfect person.
Yes.
That is funny. That is funny. Okay, so we went to Christmas. We're coming back to Halloween because that happens this Friday, which is hard to believe. October just completely flew by. But we want you to take a look at your screen. This looks a little spooky. We want you to take a look at your screen. It's creepy, it's kooky, it's mysterious, and it is spooky. It is the Addams Family. This house is located just outside of Milwaukee in West Allis, Wisconsin. They've got the whole Addams Family here, including Thing and Cousin It. Check out the incredible detail in a real staircase. In years past, the same family has created a Wizard of Oz and Scooby-Doo scene for Halloween. So fun, so creative. How long do you think it takes them to put this together?
I mean, they built a whole set. Like
Yeah, I
the
love it,
house,
though.
that's a whole other a whole other level. Like, I've seen setups and everything, but I'm sure that takes a while because you got to get the mannequins, you got to get the outfits, you got to dress them.
That's dedication.
It is. But I love a good, like, Morticia and Wednesday Addams costume. Like, I love seeing people. Yes, I love seeing people dressed like because Morticia just had like the long hair, and then Wednesday's look, I feel like it's just iconic.
Yeah.
So
well, I told you my dog was almost Wednesday.
Yes.
Adams. Yeah.
She should have. That was a cute
With the
costume
wig and
too.
everything, like the bangs. Very cute. Next year.
Oh my gosh, I love it. So
all right,
we're getting into some more spooky stuff today. We just listened to Sharon's story at the haunted bar at the Phoenix, and so we're going to talk to another paranormal investigator today, which should be interesting.
And we're going to leave that up to Taylor because I'm getting spooked out. We are going to take a quick break first. We'll be right back.
All right, thanks for staying with us here on KCTV5 Plus. Not too long ago, we just watched a story about a haunted bar right here in Kansas City. And so we want to ask you, do you believe in the paranormal? As we get closer to Halloween, we're getting into hauntings all around Kansas City and Missouri. And to talk with us about it is paranormal investigator Elijah Buchholz. Hello, Elijah. Thank you so much for being with us today.
Good morning. Thank you so much for having me on.
Yeah. Okay. So first of all, break it down for us. I mean, of course, it sounds like what it says, paranormal investigator, but give us a little deeper insight into what you do.
Yeah. So I, founded a group about 14 years ago called Apex Paranormal. We're a paranormal group based out of the Kansas City metro. And a lot of what we do is we travel around the country and film kind of our own ghost hunting TV show. And then ever so often we take a break and we like to run paranormal events around the Kansas City area. So things like ghost tours, full on 6-7 hour ghost hunting events that folks can come and join us on.
So what made you want to be a paranormal investigator? How do you get into that line of work?
You get this. I get this question a lot. Because it's kind of weird, right? It's not something that is you see on resumes, so to speak. I actually grew up in a haunted house, in a haunted farmhouse in the middle of nowhere in Iowa, and had all these experiences as a child that just made me fascinated and curious and wanting to kind of learn more about what myself and my family experienced.
Wow. So what are some of the things that you have experienced paranormal like before you went into being an investigator?
Well, so growing up in this house, there was the ghost of a little girl that a lot of people saw, including my family and extended family that would come over, friends that would come over to visit. I mean, even we would have church get-togethers at the house, and folks from the church would see this little girl walking around the house. We'd see her. I'd wake up often in the middle of the night hearing her in my room playing with toys. And it was, as a child, it was kind of traumatic, but it also led to, as an adult, this fascination with, whatever your beliefs are, whether that's ghosts or what have you. There's weird stuff that happens in our world. And I think we all get a little interested in kind of understanding that better.
Yeah, I mean, it's interesting indeed, especially because it's something that we usually see in the movies, right? So when you see it in that aspect, it's like, okay, this is fictional, it can't be real, but to hear people like yourself say that you have had real experiences, I mean, it is something worth paying attention to.
Yeah, absolutely. So most of the month of October, we have been doing events at the Kansas State Penitentiary up in Lansing, Kansas. And we have had 300-400 people that have come through these events, and the experiences they have been incredible. We've caught these amazing pictures of people that weren't there, but they showed up in photographs. We've heard voices and screams and footsteps and door slamming shut, and you can't discount the experiences themselves. However, you choose to explain them. It's pretty wild.
Well, now that you mentioned the penitentiary, I've seen the billboard for that actually when I'm driving on I-35. So now I can put a face to that billboard. So one of our colleagues, she just did an investigation about a paranormal investigation at a bar, the Phoenix in downtown Kansas City. And the investigator that did this, I guess, had like technology to like pick up a voice that's talking and things like that. Where does this technology come from? And how do you know like what to use to try to pick up on some of these things?
So there's people out there that build these devices. There's websites. GhostStop.com is a great kind of starter place if you're interested in looking at equipment and maybe purchasing some equipment. there's also a lot of people that will do custom things. So there's a gentleman that lives in North Kansas City here in the area that builds a lot of equipment for the TV shows. And so he also builds equipment that we use as well. Anytime we get a piece of equipment, and a lot of them kind of track similar things, just in different shapes and forms, we really like to put them to the test. We will, spend several months testing them out. And if there's a piece of equipment and we can explain exactly how it works, how it gets set off, how we can make it happen on command ourselves, then we tend to kind of throw that out. We really want to find equipment that is hard to, what we call debunk, that gives you results that are really hard to explain.
And so I do have a question. You talked about how you have involvement with TV shows, but then you also have like these events or like the penitentiary. Have you noticed a difference in how these spirits or ghosts or whomever, how they maybe react to a television production versus maybe just people there and it not being as much, I guess, fanfare per se, like no cameras, no lights?
Yeah, I think so. So we've been involved in the production of several TV shows for Travel Channel, Discovery, things like that. And while those are amazing, they're great entertainment. They bring, some really good awareness to these historical locations. It seems like the more hubbub there is, the less activity you tend to get. I don't know, ghosts are shy maybe. And we've had just more luck with less people, smaller groups of people, and it's also a little easier to kind of control and know that it's not camera setting off equipment, that it's not somebody out of a group of 100 people that's whispering versus being a ghost voice. It's just a little easier to discern that way.
Yeah, that makes a lot of sense. It's just so interesting to me. I don't think that I've personally encountered anything paranormal, not yet. I don't know if I'm ready for that, to be honest. But it's really cool. So, have you dealt with, or like, what's been your craziest experience? Like, what was something that was like, whoa?
So I'll tell you a story from this year, but listen, you've got to come out and do one of these ghost events with us one of these days.
I'll accept the challenge.
Okay, you come out and we'll see. We'll see. I think you might be surprised at how brave you can be when you come and do these events. Earlier this year, we were actually doing an event at a place called Malvern Manor up in Malvern, Iowa. It's about 3 hours north of here. Amazing location, just insanely active and haunted. And me and two other guests were standing kind of at the bottom of these attic stairs in a hallway. And one of the guests, and I was sitting on the floor and they were standing, and one of the guests looks at me and goes, "Man, it really looks like somebody's standing at the bottom of those attic stairs." So I turned to look, and sure enough, it was, whoa, you could see a man standing there. There was no other person there, but you could see a man standing there.
Wow.
And I'm kind of sitting there looking, going, am I really seeing this? Is this really happening? And then all of a sudden, this man's hands come out and he runs straight at me. And I rolled over and got up and ran down the hall a little bit. And it was, very startling, very intense kind of experience.
Oh my gosh. I'm just trying to envision that. Like, that's where I would be like, okay, I gotta go. Like, that's wow. In the story that my colleague did, she was talking about how the ghosts, I guess, in that bar are friendly. So I don't know. I guess some people think that the spirits are out to get them, and maybe if they had an encounter like yours, it might freak them out. But maybe they're just territorial.
Yeah, again, I've done this 14 years. We've crisscrossed the country. We've been to some of the most haunted locations in this country, and I've gone internationally. I've been to haunted castles in Ireland. Most of the time, spirits tend to be friendly. Sometimes you might run into, if somebody was a jerk when they were alive, they're going to be a jerk when they're dead. They're not suddenly going to be a nice person.
Yeah.
So sometimes you run into ghosts, that are jerks. But for the most part, what we have encountered, they just want to be heard. They just want to be seen. They just want to interact. Even that story I just told of the guy at Malvern Manor, to me, it was scary and startling and made me kind of roll and run, but he could have just been trying to reach out. You know, it could have been just an innocent, hey, I'm trying to get your attention kind of thing.
Yeah, and then to think of that is kind of sad because, like, another question that I had when I was watching my colleague's story is like, well, if they're still wandering Earthside, why are they still here? Why haven't they, like, maybe moved on? If you believe there's another world or another dimension, so many questions.
And these are questions that we constantly ask. It's not, we don't always get the direct, easy answers to our questions, but these are the things that we hope to learn more about as we do things like paranormal investigating. We had an opportunity to work with a local location in Kansas City for 6-7 years, and you got to know the place. You got to know the spirits there, and kind of the matriarch of that location would frequently come out and interact with us, and was always nice, pleasant interactions. And I think for her, that was her home. She built that home. She loved that place. It was a huge source of pride. It's where she felt comfortable. And I think that's just where she wanted to spend her afterlife, I guess.
And another thing that I picked up on that you mentioned is just like the history that kind of goes into this as well. These are people who lived lives, and like you mentioned, they've had homes, or these places that they're in might have been of significance to them. So I guess there's also things to learn too, kind of about the city, as you're also kind of interacting with the paranormal.
Absolutely. One thing that we find so rewarding and fulfilling about doing this is when we get to work with historical locations, in particular local ones around the Kansas City. So I'll mention the Kansas State Penitentiary again. It just closed down in 2020. The plan had been to tear the place down, and thankfully a state senator stepped in and said, man, the history that's here, we've got to use this to educate people and to teach people. And that's what they're doing. Their history tours are amazing. They're ran by very informative people. I highly recommend folks check out the daytime history tours. But then we also have kind of this paranormal carrot to dangle. This is, especially in October, everybody's in a spooky season mood and is fascinated by this stuff. So if we can draw more attention to that location and preserve our local history through raising funds for it by doing paranormal events, then it's just amazing to see. So
awesome. Well, thank you so much for sharing with us today, Elijah. It was really cool to hear about your work that you do, and just getting a little deeper into what it looks like to be a paranormal investigator. So if folks are wanting to come and experience this with you, how can they do that?
Well, you can look up Apex Paranormal. That's the name of our team. You can just Google it. You'll find all kinds of stuff. We're on all the social medias. Our website is theapexparanormal.com. So THE, theapexparanormal.com. And we post all of our events on there and a lot of information about kind of the shenanigans we get up to.
Awesome. Well, again, Elijah, thank you so much for being here with us today. And I hope you have a happy Halloween.
You too. Thank you.
All right. And with that, we'll take a break and we'll be right back.